The Movements of the Soul is a play based on a true story. It's about the unlikely friendship between a young, hearing Congregationalist minister, Thomas Hopkins Gallaudet,
and a visionary deaf French teacher, Laurent Clerc.
Two men who throw their entire lives into creating the first school for the deaf in America.
And that in the face of a lot of erroneous attitudes, superstitions, and prejudices at the time about deaf people.
People thought the deaf were idiots, incapable of higher thought.
People even thought that they were cursed by God, and that just looking at a deaf person could cause one's children to be deaf.
They thought that the deaf wouldn't be allowed into heaven because they were unable to hear the word of God.
And so Gallaudet and Clerc, against almost insurmountable odds, achieved their monumental goal of building the American School for the Deaf. Just as they are on the brink of expansion, Clerc makes an upsetting announcement that threatens to undermine everything they've worked for. He intends to marry a deaf woman.
Back in the 1800s, a marriage between two deaf people was considered immoral.
People feared intermarriage amongst deaf people would spread deafness and create a deaf subculture, which would essentially denigrate society at large and generally serve to unravel Christian principles.
The Movements of the Soul has a ferocious arc which exposes the underpinnings of this controversy. Using American Sign Language, spoken English, and even a little French, seamlessly interwoven by the multilingual ensemble of deaf and hearing actors.
But don't take our word for it.
Because you have to see this to realize the power that just crosses that fourth. I just thought it was a phenomenal piece. This is one of the most powerful plays I've ever seen.
So if you go to our extensive website, www.themovementsofthesoul.com,
you'll see all kinds of fascinating chronicles about the road the players already traveled, updates on our current progress, more information about our cast of veteran Broadway, off-Broadway, film, television, and National Theatre of the Deaf actors, as well as pertinent details about how we will put your money